Okay. Thanks for coming. This is an awesome group. I'm like, we should have just had pizza. Let's make that happen, but this is awesome. Then I think just generally speaking, thanks for like the great work you guys do. It's rare that everyone's together like this, so I don't know, I know I speak on behalf of the district, like, thanks for all the good work that's going around in the valley. It's really cool to be part of this engineering community and see the progress when it comes to flood control and master planning and the infrastructure that's going in the ground. So, yeah, just kind of overwhelmed by how cool this group is. Thanks for being here. Thanks for crowding in. We were going to be downstairs. You might have noticed there's blood drive down there. We thought we'd give 5 extra points on the proposal for anyone that donated blood. But
All right.
but thanks for kind of cramming it here. We'll record this, so it'll be available on that same website where the proposal, if there's questions, these questions will be in the record so that everyone can have access to them or see the answers if there are those. And I think just by way of introduction on the district side, Michelle is our public information officer. If you haven't ever met her, so she handles all of our public outreach. Paul is our principal engineer. A lot of what Henderson and North Las Vegas lately, and Mesquite, Valley, Mesquite leadership. Yeah, Vance, principal engineer. We doing a lot with the county. Debbie's our engineering director. And then I think Andrew might pop in. Who else? Lily helps us with everything, but a lot on the IT side, the GIS mapping, all those things. So I think that's our side mostly. Yeah. And then from the entities, you guys want to just say, I think everyone knows everyone, but we have kind of a few primary contacts. There's a lot of other people that will be involved from the entities, but maybe Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie Korn, City of Las Vegas. Abby was supposed to be here, but she had another meeting to attend, but I'm filling in for her, but she'll probably be the main person to contact at the city.
Jason Calhoun, City of North Las Vegas. I'll be one of the primary contacts for City of North Las Vegas.
John McAvoy, Clark County Public Works. I'll be the main contact for Astoria County.
Christina Richter, City of Henderson. I'll be the main contact for City of Henderson. And I do have one of my drainage engineers, Micheline, with me today to observe. So she may be a part of this process with me.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. So. Recording. All right.
Planning manager, City of Las Vegas.
All right, so what we want to do, the intent of this was, we haven't done the Las Vegas Valley Master Plan for a few years. Last one was 2023. There's a few things that have changed on our side. And so the intent was just to get everyone together, try to answer questions, and then, yeah, we'll go through the agenda for what we want to do is I'm going to just kind of walk through the RFP, highlighted a few things probably worth talking about. Then we'll do a little bit of a roundtable with the entities. If you guys have anything they want to share, so we'll give them a few minutes each to share kind of any highlights, what they're looking for, concerns, those types of things. And then we'll open it up for questions. So, that's fine. So I'm going to jump in, starting with the RFP. So this is available. Been out since our board meeting last week. And I'm just going to scroll through a few things to note. So the schedule here, where you would like to go through this RFP and then be in front of our board in January 2027, same time as the NTP then. So that's the second Thursday of January. And that would give us 2 years is the goal to be done by 2028. December at the latest to adopt the 2028 master plan. We've learned it takes about 2 years. Last time we started in the middle of 2022. So that kind of pushed us into 2024 to get the 2023 adopted. So we're learning, we're getting ahead of it a little earlier. So kind of hard to believe we're here again. Also do your Christmas shopping because it's coming.
Sorry,
website, like I said, is there. That's where you get the RFP as well as where it will be submitted. The deadline for the submittal, 4 p.m. on September 17th. And it does close right at 4 p.m. So And we watched, it's kind of fun on our end to watch at 3:58. So don't be that person, but it's a Dropbox, right, Lily, for that? You can upload multiple files, but we recommend putting that all into one file. It's gonna give you the best. If you've done a PDF before, after you create it, make sure you open it maybe on a different computer. We hate for anyone's PDF not to open correctly or have something weird happen every once in a while. We've seen that where you print a PDF or something. That is the deadline and the format. I am the primary point of contact for this. So from this point on, since it's been officially issued, the RFP, we're asking if you do have questions to direct those to me as a single point of contact. And that way we can keep it just manageable in terms of questions or information, or if there's some kind of discrepancy or anything that you need to go over. So my name of contact is in here. Project. So it's all kind of in here. This is definitely a comprehensive update to the master plan. So our typical process, we'll definitely be looking at updating our inventories, hydrologic modeling, land use data, updating our cost tool. So the last time we did that was with the 2023 MPU maps, GIS data. And then we had this sentence here about the district anticipates evaluating the transition from HEC 1 to HEC HMS, and it deemed appropriate incorporating this into the MPU. So probably worth mentioning, if you haven't heard, we started with the Army Corps with HEC. This is a really fun project, but we reached out to them at the end of the last master plan to see if they would do some custom updates for us, and that's underway, and we're making good progress on that. And so this says we'll evaluate that, but we plan to use HMS, like we want to do that. And right now, what they're doing for us, there's really two parts to what the Army Corps and the HEC team is doing. One is they're making diversions work better. So if you're familiar with flow splits in HMS, if you had a flow split, it wouldn't take the tributary area both ways. And so we're kind of manually carrying that area. So they're doing that all automated and it's working well. We've tested it. So the flow split will push that tributary area both ways. And then if it comes back, it takes it out again. And so basically the area is working really well. And then you can run the depth area reduction and it will pick off the flow rates and do a lot of things that we do in the MPU. So they released a build to us, like an internal build for testing. And then the last part of what they're going to do, hopefully before the end of the year, is they're working on the reporting side. And so some really cool updates. If you've looked at the reports in HMS, they're a little funky, like an XML file and some other things that you can customize, or maybe you're printing global summary tables or something, but they're going to make a really nice comprehensive report. They're bringing back the HEC 1 tree that we all like, the hydrologic tree. We're like, yeah, nerding out about that. So anyway, those are the big things. So the area and then the report. So just wanted to mention that build is anticipated to be public by the time this MPU is ready to do modeling. So that will be part of the process. 2023 is the foundation for the new update. I'll have that for a few years. The deliverables at the end, it's the reports, it's the maps, it's also the GIS, working closely with our GIS team. And then, like I mentioned, being in front of the board by the end of 2028. You should consider in your proposal the execution of that to get to there by 2028 and a schedule and how you think that might work well. So 2 years to get it done. A lot of steps to get there. The proposal, we're already here. Pre-proposal meeting due on September 17th. We'll have those internally for a couple of weeks and then we'll notify by October 1st. That will either be notification of an award, or we have the option here to do oral interviews if we feel like there's not a clear differentiator or winner in terms of the proposal ranking. So if that's the case, then another couple of weeks to those oral interviews in October. And then that's a Thursday, we would then notify by the Monday, October 19th. And the intent then is to work with that selected team to get a contract ready for our agenda by November 30th, which puts us on the TAC cap and board cycle for requirements, cover letter 1 page. some of these change for different RFPs, so just pay attention to, if you've seen other ones, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 10 pages, but just watch this particular RFP, 6 pages of standard text and graphics are allowed. We want to see an org chart in terms of your team, resumes of key personnel. There's sometimes where it says up to 3 or 4 or something. We didn't put that. So if you think that's key personnel and worth putting their resume in, I just made a note to be reasonable. 50 resumes, but probably not 1 resume either. So you be the judge. There's 65 resumes. Not looking at them. And the forms have to be filled out at the back end of that, so those SOQ forms. The evaluation criteria is in here, so this is what the reviewers will be evaluating on. We're not, no, we do know. So the review team will have 1 representative from each of the 4 entities, as well as maybe 1 or 2 from the district. And so as you kind of go through, this first one is meant to be about Las Vegas Valley in particular. So the MPU for Las Vegas. The second one's more about all of that generally, flood control, master planning, the tasks, H&H, cost estimates, GIS. So think of it as like Las Vegas Valley. And this one's more about the planning and flood control tasks in general and the nature of the work and engineering that you all do. This one is the coordination piece, working with a team. As you know, the MPUs are our biggest coordination effort with a lot of players and a lot of agencies to bring this all together. Past performance, and then the availability of your staff, and then availability and ability to successfully execute projects. And so I think schedule kind of falls into that. These are new if you haven't seen these before in previous MPUs and previous RFPs. So our attorneys kind of worked with us on some of this recently. So if you didn't know, we don't pay for your costs in the preparation of the RFP, and now we set it. So very clear that we don't. We can reject, so it doesn't obligate us to go forward with the work or with any team. If you are on a team or 2 or more firms, we ask that that be on a prime and a sub consultant basis instead of a joint venture. This is our statement that there's no conflict of interest on our end in the selection process. So whoever's on our panel and reviewing will sign a disclosure form that says no conflict of interest and no like bias in that. And then this is probably worth noting. So this is about contact during the process. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll be the designated contact. It's fine if you want to reach out with questions, but the way this is written is, I'll just read some of this, but communication between the firms and any member of the district board or non-designated district contact regarding the selection is prohibited from the time the RFP is issued. So that's officially the board date last week. That's the 13th. Yeah. Until it's posted on a publicly noticed district meeting agenda recommending contract award. So that would be our TAC agenda for that December TAC, because that's when we expect to put that on the agenda. So in that period, then we ask that you just contact me for any questions. These are some kind of unwritten things that our attorneys have helped us just formalize a little bit, nothing like mind breaking. Mind breaking, ground breaking. Mind blowing, ground breaking. And then this is good for you to know too, but we are public agency, so Nevada Public Records Law applies to us. So all the records at the district are public. And so what that means when it comes to proposals is the proposals and the evaluation records are public, but they are not to be disclosed again until it's kind of the same language, until the recommendation for award of contract. And so we define that recommendation, same thing as being on that TAC agenda. And so at that point, the proposals and the evaluation records could be requested. And we put those online anyway, so those are out. And then anything that you deem confidential, if anything's marked confidential, it just won't be considered to like comply with the public records part of it. So anything you submit can be evaluated without anything referenced as being confidential or proprietary. Otherwise, we'll just not look at those records. So we won't look at confidential, and we won't look at 60 residents. Two. That's it for the RFP side and the process and the schedule. I won't go through this in too much detail. It's all here for review. This is a draft scope, very similar to previous MPU. I talked about this. I think it's maybe one of the bigger efforts this time is the modeling piece. The manual's another part of this. So as you know, we're working on that updated manual. Going so well and so efficiently and fast. But where I'm going with that is there'll be pieces of the manual now that we want to get the master plan consistent with. And ironically, the master plan was kind of leading ahead of where the manual was. And so we're bringing the manual up to kind of where the MPU has been doing things, but just something to be aware of as we're going into this MPU. We anticipate the manual to be in like a final draft form, hopefully by the end of the year when this MPU is starting. That's worth noting. We run our sizing tools. We'll work closely with the entities on the plan formulation recommended facility. The costs, I mentioned that. So the Las Vegas Valley MPU is when we update our cost tool, and then that cost tool gets used on subsequent MPUs and other areas. And so this is an update of that, looking back at all the data. We have a lot of that bid data. And the methods for that are always like up for review and coming up with good ways to do that. So I think we're open to a review of our cost tool. There's a little bit of balance there of not just blowing out the previous cost tool methodology, because then it kind of creates that disconnect in comparing like what the costs used to be and what they are now. But we have good bid data and a good opportunity to refresh the tool and see if we can get good cost estimates coming out of it. It's all in here. The summary tables historically, they went in a certain format. We'll probably try to make those a little more compatible this time with our 10-year plan, so that they kind of go right into our 10-year plan and it's easier to look them up and use them internally after we get the MP cost tools. We feed those into our TIP program, and it's a lot of like manual movement and things that just don't need to happen. So we'll probably work with the team on making the output for those a little better. If you look at the SOQ forms, all pretty straightforward. Don't miss question 6. That would disqualify you. So we need to see your PEs on staff in direct supervision of the work. We do check your registration to make sure you're not expired. That has happened, so be careful. This is your present and past history with the district. This is for your personnel. You can, if you're on Teams, then just you can put the team name. It doesn't say anywhere to put the firm name, so that would work well in the comments or over here if you want to, but note the different firms if they're not all at the same place. And then the last part is your subs, as well as when you get into the experience, the first table is meant to be the firm, the prime's firm experience. And then there is the second part is that experience from your consultant as well. So. Okay, that's all I had. We'll hold on questions for a little bit and let's go. Want to do some stuff? You want to go first? You have something?
I'll go first. Yeah,
We'll go.
so I think you met with Abby yesterday and you want to have in front of the engineers we've met with already, so I'll go over that first. Right.
Like in general, just anything from Las Vegas, yeah, that's like important or highlights or problem areas, but since you weren't in that meeting, maybe go last. While you do that.
Yeah.
So you can see what they do, and then if that changes what you want to share, that's fine. But who would like, do you want to go, John?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah. Design upstairs has 2 projects. One's going on at Sunset and Jones. It's going to go east in Sunset and connect into the Blue Diamond wash channel there. We're doing that project because there were some issues with the flooding there at the intersection. And we realized that the facility in Jones going north is undersized because of, all the land use updates. Everything went in denser than it was originally planned. Also at, Serene and Spencer, we're adding a new facility in there too. To just connect the dots between the intersection, because if you go northeast there, there's that channel, there's no way really to get the flows into that channel. Other than going through the parking lot, so it's just gonna connect the dots. The alignment hasn't been figured out yet. So that's gonna be upcoming as well. Those are the only two specific, projects we have. I know Churchill also, has a list of them that we were gonna share. I just don't have it with me. Just of some problem areas we've, found. And then one of the other things we were looking at is just like in the last one, just making sure we reevaluate the CNs because the land use update, making sure they're all up to date and whether or not they need to be changed.
And I think maybe just as a general statement, so when we get into the MPU, a lot of these details, so that the entities will be closely working with the team. So lots of chances to go over the specific projects as well as hotspot areas, recommended facilities. So, some detailed notes right now. This is kind of meant to be like a heads up as opposed to like you trying to solve this problem.
Yeah, we have a couple areas that are upcoming concern. One is the detention basin, our WHW 0498. It's up by
What was that?
National Guard, up by that area.
What was yours?
0498.
You haven't played with our updated tool, by the way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for the fix on that.
Yeah.
And that detention basin unfortunately is right in the middle of a proposed water line. So we're looking at having that relocated or redesigned or whatever.
This Speedway North.
Yeah. We also have another area. It's right now, it's not currently listed for improvement, but we've had a lot of maintenance issues. It's LVMD 1355. Yeah. That stretch, there's been a lot of maintenance issues in that area, the erosions of the banks. And city's been out there several times, delivered solely along the residential on the south side. Putting panels of concrete to try and protect the bank. So there's some issues up in there, and we're still currently going through. Like what we want to, if any, change from category B to category A. And we're talking with our maintenance and engineering people to see if they have any recommendations as well. So it's still an ongoing process for us. We will have it done by the time this is proposals. Decided. That's mainly for us right now.
Thank you. And Christina?
Right. Yes, we want to look at the remainder of El Dorado Valley to see what could possibly be done in that area. I do believe we are coming up with a plan to start constructing more in this area, so we just need to kind of figure out what is needed over here. On Lake Mead near Warren C. Williams, there's a wash that runs parallel to Lake Mead and then runs south to Lakemore.
What do you want? What's the cost?
If you go to Lake Mead and Lake Las Vegas. That'll probably get you closest. It's to the east of it. There's like so Lawrence E. Williams is to the east of Lake Las Vegas. There's a bunch of washes right there and then they eventually come down and run across the street on Lake Mead, and we want to see if maybe something could be done over here to help contain all that. We have a concern with Scooter Streets. If you want to zoom down there, there's a huge wash or Scooter Street. We have some development coming in this area and there's a big wash that's running through a bunch of these parcels and we're kind of hoping we can figure out how to contain it, maybe get it to connect to the downstream area so that we can help the future concerns with these residents right there. And then right in this, I think it's right in this area, Fox Hill and Julia, which I think is just to the east of this.
Foxtail.
What's it?
The Foxtail or Foxtail?
Foxtail,
Oh,
sorry.
Foxtail.
Is that one where?
Yes.
That's true. Like someone pressed
Hasn't failed us yet.
it.
It should be just to the
Jinx
east. Yeah. No, that's not it. It's in our rural area. See if you can Google Julia Street. It should pop up with that. It's down south. I just got given this one today, so.
Good.
Very in the rural area. It's almost like on the edge of town. Where is? Let me grab my phone, maybe I can Google this.
It's out there. It'll wait, it'll treat.
Just like back by
Yeah,
the
Lyman
other
is
side.
over by station, Sunset Station. Looks like, it might go straight south.
I think you go over by the, that's not.
Sunset Station's.
You know where it is? You wanna just zoom on
I think I can try to find it. I'm kind of shocked it didn't pop up, sorry, so. Thought it was right here.
Jinxed it
it?
after
Wait,
we.
first thing.
Yeah, so, we're trying to see right here, Julia, and I believe this is Foxhall. We were trying to see if we can do a crossing right here. We're starting to have development over here and we're starting to have some concerns with the flows in the area. So that's one. And then,
That was like literally, I was like.
Can you pass this back to him, please? And then Bermuda and Via Nobila, we have some riprap over there, near a channel that we're kind of hoping we can either box or put into a channel, to minimize that area and to just kind of clean it up a little bit. If you zoom in, it's, yeah, it's the right to the north right there, all that riprap. Yeah. And then Bermuda and Volunteer, there's a channel that runs parallel with Bermuda. I'm sorry, Volunteer.
Right, that's.
Yeah. We're kind of hoping we can look at maybe possibly boxing that channel, just because we, again, have development coming in and it's a little concerning in the area. And then on our maintenance side, we did meet with Chelsea and they do have some concerns with existing channels. Some of the structural integrity of those channels is coming into question and we're trying to see if there's something we could do or.
GPS signal lost.
Sorry. Just with those channels, and I could list them. We have, we're looking at the lower Pittman between Santiago to Stephanie. That is one of them that she has mentioned. And then the UPPR channel from Valley Verde to Pittman Wash. And then the C1 channel from Warm Springs to Lake Mead. And then also College and the freeway where we have those detention basins. We want to see if there's something we could do to redesign and maybe clean that up a little bit as well. Go up the 0686 and 0718. Yeah, those right there in that area. We have two across the street with it connecting. And we're just trying to see what else we can do with that area. I think that's it finally.
Okay, back to you.
So there's like 3 master studies that we have that kind of have a lot of development going on. So we'll start off with Summerlin West. So yeah. So here it's more so just, we're gonna need constant coordination with the city because a lot of that stuff is potentially gonna change. The facilities might be going through MPAs, so just make sure you're coordinating with us if you're awarded the contract. The other one would be the Pavilion Lands, which is northwest of AN 215. Yeah, both more south actually. So there's a lot of development going on here as well, and that basin right there, GOAN 0062, we may want an additional branch heading west there, depending on the development going on. So again, just something to keep an eye out for. It doesn't show it now, but we believe with the upcoming development, it may be required. And last is Kyle Canyon, northwest of Highway 95. So here is where little more, sorry, not your binder, so. So we have this like a channel kind of MOSH 0053. So we have proposed open channel kind of conveying the flow to LVN 00226. The open channel is coming out to be quite pricey, so we could kind of do something with the potential detention basin with a small outfall. That might be something we would be interested in. But again, we have a lot of development going there, so it's not so much that there are 3 hot spots, it's just 3 spots to keep an eye out for. And we will get with our maintenance crew to find out our real hot spots, and we will share that once the contract is awarded to an engineering firm.
So, yeah, okay. Good. Right. That's it for our. So questions, happy to take any if there are some. Yeah. Yeah, do you have a deadline of when you want questions come your way? Like outside of this?
Yeah, the end of this, yeah, we can start that, this really.
Not really, but yeah. I think if it's hopefully it's not a question related like procedural or any kind of thing that might throw us in a place where we need to issue like the question and push back the proposal. So that's kind of why we're here. And so I'd say if you see anything like that, that could be potential like addendum to the proposal or a problem or the method, then hopefully that's this week, I would say, so we can stay on target, but vice versa. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Next time we'll do pizza, but it's water, so. Thanks, guys. Friend, thank you all again. Oh, thanks. Good seeing you. Yeah, yourself.
Since we get together. Right.